Hello, everyone. Today is something that was just on my mind randomly, and I thought I'd make a video about it. Is I kind of was thinking about how some people will get on the raw food diet, and I think that eating only raw food is the most healthiest way to go. And I do understand where this is coming from. It's kind of like, well, it just makes sense. The food is never, it's in its most natural form, and I've heard that they, they don't want to eat dead food. They want the raw food. They consider, say a apple or a piece of raw broccoli or cauliflower or whatever it is, that it is still living, and some of that life force of that food is going to be absorbed into their body. That is the best way to eat it. But I've said before, yeah, it is alive. When you chew it up, say that head of broccoli that you never cooked, it is alive when you chew it up, but you're dropping it into a pool of acid into your stomach, and I don't know how fast, but probably almost immediately killing it. I couldn't imagine anything alive being alive very long, dropped into a pool of acid. But it is a different food, but while I say that is not the most healthy way to go about it, because though if you just you connect the dots, you could kind of come to a conclusion of, yeah, live food's the better way to go, raw food, I say. But there is a reason it's not, and it's the main reason. One of the things that separates us from all the other animals is that we cook our food before we eat it. And that is not the only thing, but that is one of the main things that contributes to us having this large brain, this light bulb looking head that we have, housing this giant brain that, brain so big that barely, women can barely give birth to this huge head, and so large that we're basically born underdeveloped, so our head can still be, is not so big that we cannot be born. But while I say, while we can house this, as they say, metabolically expensive organ, which is our brain, over other animals, is cooking our food is like a pre-digestion of our food, so we can absorb a lot more of the food more efficiently that's cooked over the food that is raw, which was why I've never understood like bodybuilders going so big on sushi. I'm like, you're eating a lower grade version of protein than had you went ahead and cooked that fish, pre-digested it, denatured it, as some people call it, before you ate it. That cooking our food is like why our digestive tract is, I'm not exactly sure, but I believe it is 1/3 the length, specifically the colon is 1/3 the length of like a chimpanzee's digestive tract. And it's the reason they don't have these giant brains, and the reason they have this big barrel of a gut, midsection that's full of this giant digestive tract, because they sit and eat this live plant matter, leaves, all day long, and they have to have all this big digestive tract to absorb the nutrients from this. And so they cannot have this giant digestive tract alongside with a huge brain. So that is not the only reason we have a large brain, but it is that I was wanting to make a video showing all the things. It's like the throwing arm, that we have a throwing arm, that we have our eyes forward, great depth perception, how we can outrun a horse, not in a sprint, but over long distance. We are like the king of long distance runners over any other animal. We can, as I say, maybe I can't, but there's the human being can run a horse to death, and most other animals, and it's a lot how we. So you combine that, being able to run most four-legged animals to death, then having a throwing arm that can throw something, whether it's a spear or a rock, and finish that animal off, and then the eyes with the depth perception to be able to accurately throw that rock, spear, or arrow. That made us very good at acquiring protein. And then you take on, so the protein on top of that, the higher amounts of protein that we could get over, that we could before we started doing that, to then started cooking the food for whatever reason, and not only it was easier to digest, we was getting rid of a lot of bacteria and pathogens by cooking it. So we didn't have to deal with whatever projectile diarrhea or projectile vomit, if there's a such thing as projectile diarrhea, I don't know, but basically, or just simply dying from it. But that is why I try to explain to people that are on this raw food, I don't say kick, but believe that this is the better way, or those that think that not eating meat is more healthy. I just do not see how that's possible when the ability for us to acquire meat better than most other animals is the main reason we are the humans that we are today, and that is with a large brain that can outthink any other animal out there, and is the main reason that I do not feel bad one bit for taking the life of an animal that I'm going to eat, because if I want to have the argument about that, I say take it up with my DNA. I came out of the womb a predator, as just as much of a predator as a cat or a eagle or snake or whatever you want to say, that only eats other animals. That to say for us to hunt, kill, and consume other animals, it's just, if it's wrong for us as humans to do that, then it is also wrong for a cat to catch a mouse, or a snake to catch a rabbit, a hawk to catch a rabbit and eat it. It's just, then they are wrong as well. So, not to say to just kill to be killed for kill to sport, but I hear like bow hunters kind of almost saying they're sorry, like before they ever explain how exciting a hunt was. Like, they'll take an animal and they'll say they don't like the death part of it, and when for so many years there's a reason that seeing that you have taken that animal's life, makes you feel good. And it's for the simple reason is because it meant for tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, seeing that you had taken an animal's life meant that you was not going to starve to death. Your family was not going to starve to death. You was going to eat another day. You was going to live another day. You was going to get a skin to keep you warm. You was going to get material to make more bows, arrows. It meant I get to live because I took that thing's life. And I do believe that is ingrained deeply in our DNA, that it should be something not to be ashamed of or even feel bad about. There is a point of, you don't want to torture an animal, but you take that as the most efficient as you possibly can, and you're getting it to have something to eat. And that's to which, yeah, I could buy steak, chicken, which I do, from the store, but I mean, the main reason I hunt and kill and eat what I do kill, I believe that is the most highest quality meat on the planet. I don't believe you can get any higher quality, any more free range, organic, nutrient dense piece of meat than something that is exercising every day, eating organic, plants, variety of things, drinking water out of a stream, whatever, than a wild animal that is eating exactly what it's supposed to eat. It's not being fed some feedlot mixture that makes the thing gain as much fat as possible, so its meat will be tender and taste different, all along while it's drinking out of a pool of water that thousands of other animals are drinking and slobbering out of, all the while standing in its own poop. So for whatever that's worth, I don't know how I got off on all the whole, it kind of ties in with raw food, vegan, hunting and killing stuff. So there it is, all in one bunch. But that's what's on my mind, and hope you got something out of this. So other than that, have a good one. Thank you.